Hello everyone, welcome to Startup Academy. So, in today's lecture, we shall be discussing about the government schemes and policies that are relevant for your UPSC examination for the month of May 2025. So, okay, so this shall be the topic for today's lecture. Moving on to our important slide. Sorry. We have important government schemes, as I've told you, related to May month 2025. Now, the first scheme is related to cashless treatment scheme for road accident victims. Okay, we have road accident victims. So, the ministry that is involved is Road Transport Ministry and Highways Ministry. Since you have a cashless treatment scheme, like if you are not having cash, then also this scheme will help you to get a treatment if you undergoes uh, a certain sort of accident or something of that sort. Now, because it is related to road accident, therefore the ministry that will be involved is nothing but the Road Transport Ministry. It was implemented by National Health Authority. Why authority? Because here are the accident victims. Therefore, health involvement took the main role. Therefore, this ministry or this authority was the one who tried to implement such laws or rules, we can say. Now, its launch date is nothing but May, since we are studying about May month. It will provide immediate cashless emergency medical care to road accident victims. It is quite important because there are certain cases, not certain actually, very cases are observed where the victims die on the spot. And there are certain cases in which the victims die because of the delay in the treatment. So, in order to prevent their death, because the plays very vital role for all of us, for the government, for the public, and for everyone. Nothing is more important than life. Therefore, such things are to be taken care of. Now, what are the key features? Obviously, 1.5 lakh per person accident is the cashless treatment it aims for. Applicable to impairment hospitals across India, covers emergency stabilization and trauma care. What all will be the facilities that would be provided? They are written over here. Now, the beneficiaries will again be important, because who would be benefited? Obviously, the road accident victim shall be benefited. In order to mention about your UPSC relevance, you can mention about the road safety, the health of the public, and its relation to the government as well. So, all these you can mention, including the social security. Now, this was the first one, and moving on to the second one, we have Amrit Bharat Station Scheme, Station Redevelopment Milestone. In this scheme, what you have is this scheme is basically related to the Station Bharat. Amrit Bharat is a station, and this scheme is related to that. So, what does it aim and what are its providings and beneficiaries? Let's study about that. So, this is Amrit Bharat Station Scheme, that is station का redevelopment होना है. There will be certain sort of redevelopment of the center, stations. Now, Ministry of Railways is involved. Since Ministry of Railways is involved, therefore you all know who is the minister. It is Mr. Ashwin Vaishnav. ठीक है? So this is the railway minister. Now the event of inauguration. How many stations? 103 stations will be uh, considered for redevelopment, and its implementation date is 22nd May. Modernize railway station and improve passenger experience. What happens is, since the trains carry large amount of people, lot of public they carry, so therefore the most of the income is generated through railways. Now, since the government is spending large amount of money and people are using that particular thing, therefore it becomes an important factor that the passengers who are traveling should get a better experience, so that we can attract more passengers. And this is nothing but a scheme which will help to redevelop the centers, and after their redevelopment there would be certain sort of changes. and such changes will make them standardized so that the passengers can have a better experience than having than in their previous one. Now the key features would be station across 18 states would be there. Since we are using 103 inauguration, we are inaugurating 103 stations, so 18 states would be included. Improved amenity, safety, accessibility, and aesthetics. So these will be the key features that will be taken care of. Then part of 1300 plus station identified under scheme. Now the beneficiaries would be the railway passengers and the local economy, because the people who are traveling via railway or using railways for their transport will be benefited. In order to mention more points, you can write about the infrastructure development and your transport economies. Again, this becomes the part of your economic sector, so we can cover it, or you can write it in your economy part as well. Now we have Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Urban PMYU deadline extension. There was certain sort of deadline over there, and in order to extend it, this was this yojana that came in front. So let's deal what does it needs to deal about. Okay, so here which ministry is involved? They say which ministry is involved here. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs is involved. And for your information, who is the minister? The current minister is Mr. Hardeep Singh Puri. ठीक है, तो he is the current minister of housing and urban affairs. Now the announcement was made in the month of May, and its deadline was 31st December. Since it deals with the extension of the deadline, therefore the new deadline has been 31st December. Now what is it saying? If you are not meeting the goal that you have set previously, therefore you would be extending the line in order to get more information. Supposedly you are the, we can say you are the host, and you are hosting, and you are saying that I have given out the forms, and those who are interested in participating in the competition, say dance competition, they can come. Supposedly you give a 10 days period of time and people are not able to come, then what you will do, you will extend that limit so that more forms could be filled. So such thing was done since major people was not able to grab the information, or the schemes was not even made aware by the public, by the media. So therefore the extended date has been the date was extended, and it was taken as 31st December. Now the completion of pending urban affordable housing projects. So what does it aim? Because the aim was not obeyed or was not completed, therefore the time period was extended. What was their aim? To construct affordable housing projects. Key features: Housing All initiative launched in 2025. It has been working since 2025, so it was in mode of working, and it has been 10 years. Till then, also, there was an extension of months as well. Another thing is focus on EWS and LIG household. The beneficiaries would be urban poor household, because most of the schemes are there in order to eradicate the poverty from the country. Therefore, the poor sector is basically benefited via this scheme. Then for UPSC relevance, you can again mention the urbanization, because the urban affordable housing projects we are constructing. Then the housing policy and the social justice, because it includes what? The poor section of the country. Moving on to the next scheme, we have Atal Pension Yojana. This is one of the most important schemes that takes relevance for your finance and economic sector as well. Finance and economy. So, this scheme relates to finance ministry, and for your information again, Nirmala Sitharaman is the current minister, finance minister. Okay. Then the milestone is again 10 years completed in 2025. So must have been implemented in 2015. What does it aim? It aims to provide old age income security to unorganized workers. In the old age, it becomes the responsibility of the government to take care of the oldies in its own country. Therefore, this scheme was launched since it relates to the pension. Pension refers to the amount, or we can say the money that is given after you have completed all the job, or you are not having any sort of income. So therefore that is given to you as a pension scheme was basically relevant to the government officers only, those who have retired from the government post. But since the government of India is facing that not many people got the government job at that period of time, therefore they launched a new scheme named as Atal Pension Yojana. In that scheme, the government aims, it has been under work from 10 years, and the government aims to provide guaranteed amount of money to those people who are not having pension officially, but this is again the official method by which the government would be providing the pension or the amount or certain sum of money to the poor or the oldies people who are not having any sort of income. So also related to this, I have one more income in my mind, oh sorry, one more income thing in my mind. In Delhi, when it was the time of, I would say, Mr. Kejriwal, it happened that he used to give a certain amount of money, not large amount, but 1,000 to 1,500 rupees to every woman living in Delhi, or because that was given to them as a pension scheme. So that can also be a reference to that. Now, what are its key features? Again, it provides 1,000 to 5,000 per month after 60 years. Only after 60 years, so you need to know the age, period, and the amount that they are giving. So you would be saying like 1,000 to 5,000 is just a few sum. How can other things be? Matlab, how will the oldies be able to cope up in this uh, inflating price system? So the thing is that since they are providing pension, other schemes are also there related to their health, related to their we can say buying and grocery item, all those things are also there. Therefore itne mein guzara chalana is, I guess, fine. And also they need to deal with large amount of people, at least with, not getting even a sum, and getting a sum, a bit sum is better. So therefore it has been in use. Okay. Now the entry age is 18 to 40 years, contribution based scheme linked to bank accounts. Since everything is digitalized, therefore the contribution shall be transferred in the account of the beneficiaries from the side of the government and will be reflected in their accounts online. Now, beneficiaries are unorganized sector workers. For UPSC relevance, you can tell about the pension reforms that is mentioned again in your polity session of yours. Polity session it says, and the social justice. Okay, coming to the fifth scheme of ours, which says that Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. This is one of the most important as it can relate to your geography and your economy both. Okay. So these two become important. These two are major sectors. So therefore, this scheme becomes important. It is released by Agriculture and Farmers Welfare Ministry, whose current minister is Mr. Shivraj Chauhan. ठीक है, तो he is the current minister. Now the date of release was May. Data, when data was released, it was in May. It was to provide insurance to cover the farmers against crop loss. So farmers का आप देख सकते हो कहाँ पर भारी नुकसान होता है, when it is very floody region, when it is a drought region, or when the farmers are facing lot of difficulty, that is when their crops are lost. So only these time are basically important for the farmers, harvesting and sowing and then feeding the crops throughout the period. These are the important. After that, the storage period is again important, for which the scheme was launched. So that is again important. Now, key highlights would be claim filed was 1.38 lakh crore rupees, but it was settled approximately at the 97% of the claiming amount. Now, high performing states are Goa, Telangana, and Tamil Nadu. Now, the beneficiaries would be obviously the farmers across India, they are saying, but since the performing states are majorly in Goa, Telangana, and Tamil Nadu, therefore, this becomes important. Now, in order to relate why only these states, why not that, so it becomes important geography reference to climate sector of yours. Okay. So, this was your Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. So, this was all for today. Thank you and keep watching.
Startup Academy presents Lakshya 2027, an exclusive batch designed only for serious ISS aspirants.